everyone, and welcome to our ABA series. My name is Eleonora Magri, board certified behavior analyst. Today, we're going to be talking about what's the function? Attention. We talked about the importance of breaking down into the antecedent, behavior, and consequence to really understand why behavior occurs. And to find out the function of the behavior, we're looking at the antecedent, what happens before that behavior. Why is it important to understand the function or the reason why a behavior occurs? Is because for each function, applied behavior analysis gives us specific effective intervention to modify problematic behavior. We reviewed the 4 functions of behavior. There is escape, attention, which we're going to be talking about today, access to tangibles, and the self-stimulatory or automatic one. So for the function of attention, the individual is engaging in the behavior to gain attention from someone that in the past has resulted in getting the attention. And that can be positive attention or negative attention from others. And this can be mom, the teacher, peers. And what happens before the behavior, that antecedent, is typically lack of attention. And after the behavior, the individual typically looks for others' reaction by smiling, laughing. And when we are talking about lack of attention, we are talking about a lack of this intrinsic motivation or sense of belonging from the individual, but it can also be a lack of skill in terms of communicating, asking appropriately attention, right, by using their words or tapping on the shoulder, or also the skill of just waiting when somebody is busy and not giving us attention. And so in this example, the antecedent is teacher being busy, and the appropriate behavior to gain attention would be saying, teacher, look at my drawing. Now, the problematic way of asking for attention would be getting out of the seat and hitting a peer. Let's look at some additional examples to ensure that we understand the function of attention. So in this first one, the antecedent is seeing a friend walking towards you. The behavior is greeting the friend. And as a consequence, the friend greets you and talks to you for a few minutes. Second example, the antecedent, what happens before the behavior is that the teacher is talking about the math lesson. The behavior is student raises his hand, appropriate way of gaining attention. And the consequence is that the teacher calls on the student to speak. In the third example, the antecedent is peers not playing with Johnny. Behavior, Johnny takes his pants off at recess, and this is an inappropriate way of gaining attention. And the consequence, the peer looking at Johnny and starting to laugh. Let's practice a little more with some scenario. In this scenario, we're going to identify the ABC of behavior, and then we're going to identify the function. Mary's mother is on a phone call for work. Mary begins to scream louder and louder. Her mother tells her several times to be quiet, but Mary continues to scream even louder. Mother is having a difficult time attending to the phone call and politely hangs up. She looks at Mary and says, "What do you want, child?" And every time that mom is on the phone, Mary screams. So what is our observable action? That behavior is Mary screaming louder and louder. What is the antecedent? What happens before the behavior is that mother is busy. She's on a phone call for work. And what is the consequence? What happens after the behavior is that mother hangs up and tells her, "What do you want, child?" So even though mom is scolding in a way, Maria, she is providing inappropriate attention. And when we look at the antecedent, mom is busy, so there is that lack of attention. So we know that the function of this behavior is attention. So now that we identified the function, what are we going to do? Well, now we know that the function is attention, and ABA gives us specific effective intervention on how to modify that problematic behavior and teach a way of requesting attention appropriately. And again, we are going to be having antecedent strategy, so modifying what happens before the behavior, And we're going to have consequence strategy. We're going to modify what happens after the behavior so that we can modify the behavior. So our antecedent strategies could be priming and setting a clear expectation. So before mom goes on that important phone call for work, she's going to tell Maria that, hey, in 15 minutes, I'm going to have a phone call, and maybe setting a clear expectation of these are available activities that you could do while mom is busy. And that's also presenting choices of things to do. We could use a visual support or a schedule if the child or individual needs a little bit more of an understanding of really what's going to happen, and visual are a great way to identify that. We can have an ecological arrangement. In this case, Maria is just screaming, but maybe in another case, the child is running, maybe is breaking items. And so we have the ability to modify the environment and limit the opportunity that this problematic behavior could become more severe. Another powerful strategy is called non-contingent reinforcement, or NCR. And basically what that is we're going to catch the child behaving. And every time that we look up, we can set up a timer every maybe 5-10 minutes. And every time the child is engaged in an appropriate activity, we're going to praise them. We're going to go up to them, let them know that we notice. And that is satiating that need of acting out to request attention. And most importantly, we need to find a way to teach how to request attention appropriately, or also waiting. By doing what? By reinforcing it. So every time that Maria is waiting, every time that she's asking appropriately, we're going to ensure that we're giving her attention. And consequence strategy, again, this is modifying the environment after the behavior occurs. We want to make sure that we don't provide attention. And this is called planned ignore. And what it means is that we are not going to be directly looking at the individual in the eyes. We're not going to be talking to them. We're going to monitor with our peripheral vision, ensuring the child is safe, but we're not actively engaging with them. And we're going to be redirecting them as soon as they're calm for an X amount of time. That varies depending on the child. As soon as they are calm, then we are going to be talking to them, redirecting, maybe engaging with them, and provide them appropriate attention. This leaves you with a quick exercise, again, making sure that you are breaking down the ABC of behavior, your antecedent, your behavior, your consequence, and analyze, is the function for attention? Yes or no? Well, thank you so much for watching us. We'll see you soon.